Hello, everybody. My name is Lyric, and today we are just going to be going over my NBA season predictions for the 2024 NBA season that is coming very close to starting up. So, what I'm going to be going over in this video is my prediction for the standings and the awards and the champion and overall what I think is going to happen in this season. This is a bit more of just an unscripted, chill video. So, sit back, relax, and we're going to just go over what my predictions are going to be for the 2024 season. So let's start off with my standings prediction. So, granted, these are as of right now. So James Harden being on the Sixers, I don't know if that's going to change or not. There's going to be some change. We don't know a lot of things about the season, but overall, with how things are right now, here is what I currently think on how the standings are going to be like. So let's start off with the Western Conference, who I think is going to be the worst team in the West, and that is the Portland Trailblazers. They are completely blowing it up. They traded Damian Lillard, and they got Scoot Henderson, which is a good replacement. They got DeAndre Ayton, which was a good get back. Got Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon. They are most likely trading, which could age this video a bit poorly if he gets traded by the time this video comes out, but yeah, they got Shaedon Sharpe, a good young player. Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant are both pretty good players. They have a bunch of good players, but I don't think they're honestly going to be trying that hard. And because I think they're like one of the only teams in the West, I think is very much intentionally trying to lose at this point. I just see them being the worst seed in the West. I see the other teams at least, putting their best effort out. I don't think this team really is going to be trying on that much, but I do think this could be a surprise team like the Jazz were at the beginning of last year. I do think there is a chance that this team just randomly comes out and makes the 10th seed in the play-in, or at least makes the 12th seed, but is really good at the beginning of the season. Then this front office is all right, guys, come down. So I think it could be one of those scenarios, but I'm going to play the safe answer and just say that I do think they're more likely to be the worst team in the West next year. So next up at the 14th seed, I have the Houston Rockets. I don't have them getting any better. I don't like any of the real additions they had. Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks are two of the most inefficient scorers in the entire NBA. Dylan Brooks is at least a good defender, but you got Jalen Green, who's also inefficient so far. He hasn't shown his efficiency going up, and he can't do really much else other than score. Alperen Şengün is their best player, in my opinion. I did not like Jabari Smith Jr.'s rookie season. They got Cam Whitmore and a steal, which I think was really good for them. But overall, they got Amin Thompson. But overall, yeah, I just don't like their team. Their team is just not. I don't like the makeup of their team at all. I just think they're going to be trash once again. I think they need that one piece. I feel like maybe Amin Thompson breaks out and he becomes that one piece. They also have the Kevin Porter Jr. controversy, so he's not going to be playing with them. But overall, yeah, I don't like the team at all. I don't like the team. I do think they need one big piece. They need a franchise player to build afterwards that I just don't think they have right now. But you know who does have that? The number 13 seed prediction, which is the San Antonio Spurs. So they got their prospect, 7'5", whatever hell you call him. Victor Wembanyama is being coached by arguably the greatest coach of all time, Greg Popovich, the system that's notoriously great for having great international talents, building them up. Yeah, he's in the perfect scenario for him. They got other solid players, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. He's got a big extension. He barely played last year, but he was doing great when he played. Jeremy Sohan can definitely improve from his rookie season. Great defender. So, yeah, they got quite a bit of pieces. They're not going to be a good team, but I do think they can win some games with their young guys, especially Wembanyama. Super hyped to see what he's going to do in his rookie season. At the number 12 seed, I have the Utah Jazz. Now, the Jazz are a confusing team. They were somehow really good last year for a good stretch of the season, which was super confusing. But then they calmed down and they ended up not making the play-in. But Lauri Markkanen won Most Improved Player. He is a fantastic player, just served in the Finnish military. And yeah, I'm super interested to see overall what is going to happen with Lauri Markkanen. They got John Collins stuff. Walker Kessler played an amazing rookie season. He really is the Rudy Gobert replacement. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be a good team, but they're going to be an interesting team. And yeah, I'm super interested to see what's going to happen with them. Mainly Walker Kessler and all those players like that. Don't think John Collins really added much to a team. Not gonna lie to you. But at the number 11 seed, now this is where things get tough. All right, the West is packed, absolutely packed. There are 11 teams that I think have a shot at being a really good playoff team. Do you know how insane that is? 11 teams that have the chance of being a really good playoff team. And by a really good playoff team, I mean like have a competitive first round against somebody, or like have it like they have a chance I could see of getting in the second round. 11 teams. Well, there's only 4 teams make it in the second round, dog. 11 teams. It's insane. But who I chose to put all the way down to 11 is the New Orleans Pelicans. The worst out of those options, the New Orleans Pelicans. The reasons for that, Zion Williamson has not proved to me that he can stay healthy at all. Brandon Ingram, people don't talk about Brandon Ingram, how he hasn't stayed healthy, just because his teammate Zion's been even worse. But Brandon Ingram has not stayed healthy either. CJ McCollum's mid. There's nothing real. I mean, the team, when they play everyone healthy, it was actually super good last year. They were the 1 seed at the the turn of the year. And then once Zion's injury they fell all the way down. He barely made the play-in. But I have them as the 11th seed just because the other 10 teams are too good. Not because I don't believe in them that much, but just because the other 10 teams are so good. So at the number 10 seed, I have the Memphis Grizzlies, which is a super big shock to me, mainly because the Grizzlies have been the 2 seed for back-to-back years. They've been the 2nd seed the back-to-back years. They just picked up Marcus Smart, so they have the DPOY Jaren Jackson, and they got the DPOY before him, Marcus Smart. They got 2 DPOYs on the team. They replaced Dylan Brooks, who basically is a better version of Dylan Brooks and Marcus Smart. Steven Adams, hopefully going to be returning. He's an amazing player. My main concern is that John Morant is suspended the first 25 games of the season. 25 games is a lot when it comes to the standings, especially when the Western Conference is this close. Yeah, and also because John Morant has a history of injury problems, I don't really believe in this team to be as functional as the other 9. I still do think, when healthy, they are an amazing team, but the 9 teams ahead of them, I think, have a bit more put together than this team, where I believe like they would be able to go through the stuff. And I think the team is definitely dysfunctional after getting their ass beat by the Lakers last year. And I think this is going to be like a growing period for them, where it's going to be a bit awkward. This is going to be like the awkward period between like when they're a good team starting out and hopefully afterwards when they're a championship level team. But yeah, I have them as the 10th seed right now. At number 9, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This team has a chance to be really good. SGA is one of the best basketball players in the world. Averaged 32 points a game last year, was like 4th in MVP voting. They got Josh Giddey as well, an amazing young player, super versatile. They got Chet Holmgren, who is going to have a lot of potential here in his rookie season, especially because he's not going to have that much pressure on him, considering that, like, he's not the main guy on the team. There's a lot of guys better than him on the team. He can, have a chance to, prosper. You have guys like Jalen Williams, had an amazing rookie season, Jalen Williams did. And even, probably going to get even better now. Lou Dort, amazing defender. Yeah, I mean, the team can just click together. And SGA is one of the best players in the NBA. I think he can lead them far. But I only have him as the 9 seed for now. At the number 8 seed, it hurts for me to say this low, but I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks. All right. So the Mavericks are the team I support. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, I do think it can work way better than it did last year. I think our main problem is that Grant Williams is our third option. That's a gigantic problem. That's a fucking huge problem. I think the biggest problem, though, we do not have a center that can rebound and defend on our basketball team. We just don't have any centers. And it pisses me off that our front office just does not get us centers. I'm sick and tired of Dwight Powell. Okay, I don't want him on the team. I want Clint Capella. I want Robert Williams. I want anybody that can rebound and defend. Literally anybody. Mitchell Robinson. Anybody. Like, I'm not kidding when I tell you that, like, if we traded for, like, Damian Lillard, I think it would affect our team less than if we just got a guy like Clint Capella. Just because of the fit, bro. We need a center so badly. We get out-rebounded so much each game. We get killed in the paint so much each game. All we need, Luka and Kyrie, we don't even need a really good third offensive option. Which are really thinking about it. We have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Those are two of the best offensive players in the NBA. We don't really need that much of a third option. We just need anyone who can rebound a basketball. But yeah, I do think we're going to be better than last year, but I only have us at the 8th seed. So going on, the number 7 seed, I have the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, lower than last year, which is a lot of people have them as like championship contenders and stuff. I do not have. I do not believe in the Chris Paul experiment at all. I think Chris Paul is way too washed up for this to work. I don't think they should have traded Jordan Poole. And I think the best case scenario, how this could work is if they have Chris Paul as the 6th man. But from what it's looking like they're trying to do, they're trying to put Chris Paul in the lineup and put Draymond Green at center with Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, and Curry, which I just think is an atrocious idea. I mean, I just think that's an atrocious idea. You know the Dallas Mavericks problem was not having a center. Well, the Warriors have really good centers, Kevon Looney, mainly. But they're just deciding not to play him. They're just gonna be playing fucking Draymond at center, fucking Curry at the 2, Wiggins at the 4, Klay at the 3. I don't think that's a good decision at all. But they have Steph Curry. Like, let's be real here. They have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green is still an amazing defender. Andrew Wiggins hopefully going to play more games this season, and Chris Paul is still a good player. I just don't like the fit on the team. So I do think they're going to be, I have them as a 7th seed. I don't think they're championship contenders, though, and I think the Warriors dynasty, unless some major changes happen, is pretty much over at this point. Curry, even though Curry is still one of the best players in the NBA. So, top 3 in the NBA, I would say still. So at the number 6 seed, so this is teams that are definitively in the playoffs. So the 10 seed through the 7 seed are in the play-in. So they would have to, do the play-in to make sure they make it in the playoffs. The Grizzlies, Thunder, Mavs, and Warriors. So the teams I think will definitively be in the playoffs. Number 6 seed, I have the Sacramento Kings. So this is definitely a fall off. They were the 3 seed last year, but I mean the Kings were a super exciting team to watch last year. I mean, super exciting. De'Aaron Fox is one of the most exciting young players to watch in the NBA. He was the clutchest player in the NBA last year. He's super good. Sabonis is one of the most versatile players. Keegan Murray hit the most threes of any rookie ever, which is absolutely insane. And yeah, they just have a bunch of good players. Malik Monk would randomly come out every 5 games and score like a bunch of points. They got the EuroLeague MVP that they just signed, so I'm really curious how that's going to work. But I do think there's going to be a sophomore slump in terms of, like, since this team's been super good. Because they haven't really made as much improvements, and I don't see their players improving that much where they go over the next 5 teams I have. So yeah, I do have them having a bit of a slump, but they're still going to be an exciting regular season team to watch. The Sacramento Kings as the 6th seed. At the number 5 seed, I have the LA Clippers. Super hard team to rank. They have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, which should be like the best, if not one of the best duos in the NBA. But neither of them can stay healthy for that long for an extended period of time, which is really hurting them. But I think this could work this year. I mean, they have Westbrook, who was playing great when he was playing for the Clippers, And I mean, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, when they are playing, this is a super, really good team. But I just don't see them putting it all the way together to become a championship contender. I think last year they have to stay together. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like this is just the Lob City Clippers, how they kept, they used to keep every season, like, oh, watch out. But it's the same fucking team every year. Fool me once, shame on me, fool me, whatever. George Bush quote. They keep fooling us. They're not going to fool me this time. I have them as the 5th seed. They're going to be mid, and Kawhi's going to get hit in the playoffs, and they're going to lose in the first or second round. But yeah. So at the number 4 seed, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. A big improvement on the 8th seed they were last year. I think this team is really going to click this year. They have Anthony Edwards, the best player on the USA team last year. And I feel like he is going to come out and become like a 30-point per game scorer this year. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be a 25-point per game scorer, super amazing second option. They have Rudy Gobert, who, love him or hate him, he is a Hall of Famer. I don't care what you say. A 3-time DPOY, that's Hall of Fame material. and he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. They have Jaden McDaniels, one of the best defenders in the NBA. So they have a super amazing interior defender, super amazing perimeter defender, a super amazing scorer, a super amazing scoring guard, and a super amazing scoring big, and they have a veteran point guard. They have tons of even more depth off the bench with Nas Reed and stuff, and Shake Milton. This team's going to be fantastic. I don't see how this team, if the Wolves this year fool me again, because last year, I'm not going to lie, I had them really high. I predicted they were going to be the number 1 seed in the West, which was really wrong, but I think this year they really got it. If the Wolves do not put it together this year, barring any major injuries, and they are still trash, I'm just never believing in them, and no matter what their team looks like ever again. Their team looks so good. It looks so good. There's no way they can be trash. There's no way. Okay, so now we're on to the big 3 teams. These are the best 3 teams in the league, in my opinion. Number 3 in the West, Number 3, the LA Lakers. They have 2 top 10 players in the NBA, LeBron and Anthony Davis. Love them or hate them, I still think they are both top 10 players in the NBA. I think 80 is above LeBron, but I do think they're both top 10. Austin Reeves, I think, is going to come out and become close to a 20-point per game scorer. D'Angelo Russell is capable of scoring over 20 points per game. He's a super amazing point guard. Rui Hachimura, amazing player. Jared Vanderbilt, amazing defender. They got Christian Wood, who, he has a lot of issues about him, but when he's just like a spark player off the bench, I think it's fine. I think his issues overcome that. And they have Gabe Vincent, the starting point guard for the Heat that just made the finals. So I think that's a super amazing addition. And overall, yeah, I think this team is super deep and super good. Barring any major injuries, because once again, this is a team that has a risk of major injuries. Anthony Davis being Anthony Davis and LeBron old as ball sacks. But I do think this team's still gonna be super good. I think they are a championship contender next year. They are definitely a championship contender. Would not be surprised if the Lakers go on to win the championship next year with their amazing roster currently. They had the roster for like one half of the last season, and they transformed from like the worst team in the NBA to the conference finals. And they added even more better players. And they made the conference finals with LeBron having like a torn tendon in his foot. So this team is obviously a championship contender in my eyes. Number 2, the Phoenix Suns. This team looks stacked. Okay, the reason I have the team above the Lakers in the regular season is because the Suns were already super good in the regular season last year. And now they just added Kevin Durant, because he barely played in the regular season last year for them. So, yeah. They added this guy Bradley Beal as well. Fucking hell, this team is insane. They have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. They got rid of DeAndre Ayton, but they got more depth. They got Yusuf Nurkic, Drew Eubanks, Eric Gordon, Bol, Josh Okogie. They got really good depth, honestly. Their depth is honestly looking pretty dang good for a team that's also super top heavy with that big 3. I'm really scared of this team, not gonna lie to you. The reason I have them not as the number 1 seed is because Kevin Durant has gotten a lot of injury issues the last few years, so I don't have them all the way up there, and also Bradley Beal has had some injury issues, and I feel like because these players just got added to the team, there's going to be some chemistry issues maybe at the beginning of the season. But overall, yeah, this team is stacked, and they are definitely a championship contender. And the number 1 seed, I have the Denver Nuggets. Fantastic team. This is the team I think the least amount of things can go wrong for the team. Nikola Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. Jamal Murray played his absolute heart out last year. He had a fucking amazing playoff run. He's a top 20 player in the NBA. Michael Porter, amazing shooter. Eric Gordon, amazing, player that does everything for the team. I just think this team they lost Bruce Brown, which is a big loss, but I just think I just see the least amount of things going wrong for this team. Because I think like the worst case scenario that I could see happening for all the teams here, like there can be really bad scenarios for the Lakers and the Suns, that I could see happening with, with the injuries and shit. But like the Nuggets, I don't see that big of injury risk. Nikola Jokic never gets injured. Jamal Murray had one really big injury, but other than that, he's mostly chilling. Michael Porter maybe, but he's like their 4th best player at this point. So yeah, they're the defending champions, and I see them once again being the number 1 seed. So now let's go on to the East. Starting off, number 15, In the East, I have the Washington Wizards. They blew everything up. They're going to be tanking like a motherfucker. Their best players, Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole. Yeah, not much to say there. I'm not going to say much about them. They're just going to be really bad. 14. I have the Detroit Pistons. Yeah. Cade Cunningham, I think, is going to be super good next year. I mean, he's amazing. They got Alzer Thompson on the team, you know. They got Bojan Bogdanovic. So they got good players, but once again, I just don't see them clicking that much so far still. I mean, the Pistons have been trash for a while. I just don't see them. A lot of people say, oh, maybe this team's going to be a sleeper play-on team now. I just don't see this team clicking. Not going to lie to you. I just don't see it clicking for them. Number 13, the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball missed most of last season, but with LaMelo Ball, they got Brandon Miller, you know, good, hopefully a good rookie. Miles Bridges is returning, which is going to help their basketball team quite a bit. Yeah, and I mean, they got Terry Rozier, I guess. They lost Kelly Oubre, but Kelly Oubre is yeah, I just see this team, like, having some exciting games, but pretty much being bad. Same as normal. Hornets announcer going crazy. Number 12, the Chicago Bulls. This team is too old and just not doing anything to stop it. Like, Vucevic is the most mid, if not really bad, bad center. I don't see what he's like an average scorer who like can't play defense and he's like a decent rebounder. DeMar DeRozan's getting old. Zach LaVine is really good, but he can't do anything but score really. Alex Caruso is a really good defender, but that's all he does. He's like their third option. Yeah, this team's just not good. I just don't see this team as being good. Number 11, I have the wait, no. I do not have the Toronto Raptors. I just lied. Number 11. Wait, do I have the Toronto Raptors? Hold up. I do have the Toronto Raptors at 11. Yeah, this team's just mid. Siakam is their best player. They got fucking Scotty Barnes, who I'm not really that high on as much as a lot of people. OG Anunoby's really good, but he's their second option now. So, yeah, let's go do all these teams. A few of these teams that I just think are really mid. The 10th seed, I have the Indiana Pacers, who I actually think, Tyrese Halliburton is super underrated. He's an amazing fucking player. I love him on the team, you know. They had a Bruce Brown, you know. I don't know. I just think Tyrese Halliburton can lead into a lot of wins. Led them to the 11th seed last year. So I think a few of these teams are progressing. I think the Pacers can definitely make the play-in. Number 9, I have the... oh, wait, no. Sorry. I had the Pacers at number 9, actually. Damn, I had them kind of high. Number 10, I had the Orlando Magic. Yeah, Banchero and Wagner is actually going to be a pretty scary duo next year, I think. Wagner was just the best player on the team that just won the FIBA World Cup. And Paulo Banchero is going to improve from his rookie season. You know, they got Markelle Fultz, who's playing good. You know, Wendell Carter's a good player. You know, I just think this team was actually playing pretty dang good towards the end of the season. And I can see them, you know, making a splash and making a play-in tournament, you know, mainly by their big duo there with Banchero and Wagner. The number 8 seed, I have the Atlanta Hawks, the most mid team in the entire association. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, they got Young and Murray. I just don't see them making much improvements. I'm not really that big of a Trae Young guy. I don't know. This team, I'm just not that high on it at all. Just really not high on the Atlanta Hawks at all. Number 8, I have the Brooklyn Nets. That's a bit higher than a lot of people would put them, but I think Mikal Bridges is really going to have a breakout season. I mean, he can average like 27 points per game while being one of the best defenders in the NBA and a really efficient 27 points per game, like a damn near 50, 40, 90, while being one of the best defenders in the NBA. I think that's super valuable. And Nick Claxton's one of the best defenders in the NBA. I can see the team randomly coming out and being a lot better. I think they have a lot more of a spark and, you know, things that I really like about them more than a bunch of these mid teams below them. So I would actually have them quite high there. Number 7, I have the New York Knicks. This team is pretty scary in the regular season a lot of the time. With this roster, Jalen Brunson played absolutely amazing in the regular season and especially in the playoffs. Julius Randle's a super amazing regular season player. Josh Hart is really a good addition to the team. Mitchell Robinson absolutely dominated Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in the playoffs. So yeah, I have them at the 6th seed. Number 5, I have the Miami Heat. I'm kind of arguing even having them lower. I mean, they only got worse. They literally only got worse this season. They lost Gabe Vincent and Max Strus and like got basically no players in return. They didn't get Dame. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler. It's a decent big three. Jimmy Butler, randomly becomes God for a few games, but I just don't like this team that much. I just don't like the team. Uh, I don't think they're a contender for the finals. Unless, I mean, I just don't like the team that much. Have them as the 5th seed. Number 4, the Philadelphia 76ers. They are the most confusing team to rank here because I have no idea where the hell James Harden's going. Tyrese Maxey is pretty good. They got Kelly Oubre, and obviously Joel Embiid. I assume is going to have another MVP level season. But they're so dysfunctional. I only think the MVP. I think they get led to the 4th seed purely by an MVP Embiid performance. MVP level, I mean. Not that he's going to win the award, but just he's going to be on that level. And because the East is kind of top heavy, like, a lot of the teams that are mid, or I can see definitely just Embiid being super good, just single-handedly surpassing those teams. Number 3, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers, pretty higher than most people have them. I think they're going to be really good in the regular season. I don't expect them to do much in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell is, I assume, going to have another insane season. Darius Garland is one of the most efficient players in the NBA. I think Evan Mobley has to improve a lot this season. On the offensive end, at least, he's already one of the best defenders in the NBA. Jarrett Allen needs to learn how to rebound a damn basketball against Mitchell Robinson. But yeah, I do think this team is going to be super good in the regular season. They're not that dysfunctional, so that's why I have them this high. But I don't expect them to do much in the playoffs. It has some good additions, Max Strus. But mainly I put them higher for Evan Mobley's improvement and the fact that they're not a dysfunctional team, which is saying a lot. So now we go to our big 2. The Celtics is really top heavy. The East is really top heavy with these top 2 teams. Number 2, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. The reason why I have them as the number 2 seed and not the number 1 seed is because I think there is more opportunities for bad stuff to happen to them. Like, I feel like a Giannis injury or a Damian Lillard injury could make them going on a bit of a losing streak because they are super top heavy with those two. But I mean, that is the best duo in the NBA in terms of the talents of the two players. That is the best duo in the NBA. They are both 30-point per game scorers. I mean, there's a real opportunity that Giannis is not the leading scorer on his team this year, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, I mean, they're just a fantastic team. What can I fucking say? They're such a good team. This is definitely a championship contender. They got Chris Middleton, who's really good. Brook Lopez is a super amazing player. I don't know how he keeps getting better with age somehow. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA in a stretch 5. He's amazing. Bobby Portis, good 6-man. They signed Cam Payne, which I think was actually a pretty good signing. Malik Beasley, good shooter. Yeah, this team's going to be insane. Giannis and Lillard is the most insane duo. And the number 1 seed in the East, the Boston Celtics. I think there's the least opportunity for this team to, go on a big losing streak because their team is just so deep. Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, Derek White. Like, all of those guys are so good. Drew Holiday, one of the best two-way players in the NBA. Derek White, one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, and a good interior defender for a guard. Jaylen Brown, one of the best players in the NBA. Jason Tatum, top 10 player in the NBA. Al Horford, good interior defender in stretch 5. Kristaps Porzingis, he was literally the best player on the Wizards last year. I think he's actually underrated by a lot of people. Like, this team is so deep and so good, it's actually insane. Their lineup is so good, and I think they match up well literally against every other team. I don't see how this team really fails all that much this season. Unless something goes catastrophically wrong. I just don't see it. So I have the Celtics as the best team in the East. Now let's go over my NBA award predictions. So I'm mainly going to go over, it's hard to predict a lot of these awards. I'm just going to mainly go over MVP. That's the main one. That's really the one I'm going to go over. And I think Jokic is going to win his 3rd MVP in 4 seasons. The main reason being that he is the best basketball player in the world, and I predict his team's going to be a number 1 seed. If you're the best basketball player in the world and you're the number 1 seed, I don't see how there's any argument that you don't win MVP. I don't think there's going to be much voter fatigue because last year I feel like a lot of people said he was cheated out of the MVP, so they're going to be like, okay, now we got to give him this MVP because we cheated him out of the last one, I think Jokic gets his 3rd MVP in 4 seasons. That's my prediction there. And overall, my NBA Finals prediction. I think there are 5 big contenders in the NBA. The big 5 contenders are the Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, LA Lakers, Boston Celtics, and Milwaukee Bucks. If any team other than those 5 teams wins the championship, I will be unbelievably shocked. But if any of those 5 wins it, I will not be shocked at all. Overall, I think my safest bet, I mean, the Suns are looking really good, but so let's look at our let's just skip to the second round here. So with my current predictions, I'm assuming I'm not gonna do the play-in predictions. I'm assuming the first and second seeds are just going to advance. But let's look here. So the Clippers versus the Wolves would be a playoff series that I would have in my bracket. If the Clippers are healthy, they should beat the Wolves. But the Wolves I did have as a higher team, and the Kawhi once again could enter the playoffs. I'm gonna go the Clippers just to be safe. No, that's not a safe choice, but I don't know. I just feel the Clippers, and the Wolves are notoriously not that great in the playoffs. So I'm just gonna go with the Clippers over the Wolves there, and then I would have the Lakers versus the Kings. I do have the Lakers there. Yeah, and then I would have a series between the Nuggets and the Clippers. I think the Nuggets are winning that. Jokic is abusing the fuck out of Ivica Zubac. And yeah, I just don't know. I mean, the Nuggets beat the Lakers in 2020 when the Nuggets were a worse team, and the Clippers were like the team predicted to win the championship, and everyone was healthy. So yeah, I do think the Nuggets are winning that series, and the Suns versus the Lakers will be the most interesting series of all time if that happens. It will be Kevin Durant versus LeBron James, which we have still not seen in 5 years, but we're gonna see that I think in the season debut, right? Suns versus Lakers, which I'm super hyped to see. Of the LeBron James versus Kevin Durant. It really comes to matchups here. And I think Anthony Davis is going to have a really good series against this team. And I think I have the Lakers. I could be either the Suns or either though. But the Nuggets versus the Lakers, they swept them last year. Yeah, I have the Nuggets. They swept the Lakers last year. The Lakers did get better, but they got swept. And the Suns, I think, are really close. And the Nuggets did beat the Suns last year, and the Suns did get better, but I don't know. I think my best choice would be the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are, the team most likely to make the finals out the West. For the East, Bucks versus Suns. We all know what the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be. If it's not that, I will be absolutely shocked. And it really comes down to matchups here. I think Damian Lillard, they have really good perimeter and interior defenders on the Celtics. I mean, they got Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard, and they got Porzingis and Al Horford. I don't think one of those guys is definitely even close to stopping Giannis, but both of them, I think, could slow him down a little bit. And the Celtics just have more depth. I could see Giannis and Dame just both going up and putting up 40 a game in the series and just beating the Celtics. But I think the Celtics have the better chance. I'm gonna go the Celtics, which makes the finals Nuggets versus Celtics, in my opinion. Ooh, both these teams are so good, but the Celtics, I think I have the Celtics winning the championship. I think I'm gonna go out and say it. I think I have the Celtics winning the NBA championship. I just think they have the deepest team in the NBA while also having some of the best players. They have amazing players at every position. I think I have the Boston Celtics. Book it, mark it when the season comes up. You'll see how terribly wrong or maybe scarily right I am. I think the Boston Celtics are your 2024 NBA champions. Jason Tatum presumably is the Finals MVP. So what do you think of my NBA season predictions? Leave your own in the comment section below. What you agree with, what you disagree with. And just a fun video. Just a little off. I'm doing this a bit. It's a bit more obviously. Non-scripted video because I'm making a video right now of the what if the conference finals MVP had always existed, or I'm giving the awards out to every year, and I'm doing the decade of the 2000s and just the Western Conference. So just the Western Conference and just in the 2000s, and I just finished the year 2004, and the video is over 40 minutes long. So it's going to be over an hour-long original content video, which is only one conference in one decade, and I'm trying to do all the conferences in all the decades. So the fucking series is going to be so long, and it's going to be a long time to do. So I'm just making this, videos as an intermission, because I think the videos are probably going to slow down to once every 2 or 3 weeks because of how long they are going to be. Hopefully you understand that. But yeah, subscribe to my reaction channel, and yeah, bye.